Okay, we are back. As I reminded myself in the text chat here, since you did 1 full week of rest, we can let Timothy make an attempt to naturally recover from your critical injury.
What role is that?
I am just pulling up my thing here. Resilience, please. And difficulty is only 1 because I believe your injury is a minor one.
Yes, okay.
That is
I think
more
that's
than
the
enough
best
success.
role I've ever had in this game.
So, can you remove your critical injury, or do I need to do that?
Let me find out.
Under combat
Oh,
tab.
okay. Yeah, okay. I thought I remembered it being under effects. Yep, I can remove it.
All right. So you did eventually recover and are feeling much better. And as you guys remember, we are traveling out of Bandar Iban in the search of an Ogier Stedding, to hopefully tell them about the um, the darkness that you encountered inside the strange archways, and you also ran into a merchant who has hired your services, and you've gotten a down payment. He seems to be willing to go the same direction as you and make a small detour towards the steading. So we will. I said I think it's like around most of a day's travel away. So you guys left in the morning, and the day is relatively uneventful. Um, you guys travel. You keep watch out for. He said there's some unrest and bandits in the area, so you keep out, but you don't notice anything out of the ordinary, especially this close to the city. And eventually, from the directions you were told about where the setting is, you pretty much arrive, and there's a lovely, well kept grove of trees, like a small minor forest.
Okay, does this look like where we knew we were headed to? I don't remember exactly like if we knew the location or if we just knew that somewhere in this direction we'll encounter people who maybe made that thing.
Yeah, I don't believe you guys asked in particular, but I will say Arashi, whose player is not here today, but they feel a sudden change as you kind of get close to this grove of trees. And I don't know if they're really the character to say something about it, so your characters might not know what's going on, but for them, they suddenly out of nowhere, as you're traveling along with your wagon and horses, they're completely disconnected from magic.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I would be privy to that at all. So, if you said it's just like a tree line, like we haven't approached like a village.
Not that you can see.
Hmm. Well, if I feel nothing different, and it doesn't look like eerie here or anything, I might not even change my pace. Oh, wait, I believe Just Amazing is the one driving the cart. So,
I am.
Actually, the man you were traveling with, let me find his name. He is well traveled, and he might have something to say in the situation.
I say Arashi can be asleep. That's why she didn't say anything.
His name again is Elbreth Hedare. I will type it in chat just so you have a reference. And do I have a character sheet made for him? I do actually. I will have him roll a check. That seems fun.
Is it a private one? No. Okay, cool.
Uh, just barely,
Oh wow.
just completely canceled. So it is a failure.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But you know, this is where you were kind of told to be, and this is a little out of the way. It's not like on the main road towards any of the cities. So your commotion at least has attracted some attention, and eventually out of the grove of trees comes, we'll just say one ogier. Um, I don't particularly have pictures on hand, but I might have like in the character sheet or in the like when we were. I thought I had pictures somewhere. Maybe they're in the Google Docs that I sent originally, but they're like very large. They're like 9 feet tall or so. Um, and they do have like hair pretty much all over their body. And but they have huge like huge eyes in their face that just like dominate their face, and like a kind of a mouth, if you can imagine like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, just a big grin. Um, and they kind of wave, and you, as he gets close enough to speak, you do hear his voice, and it is the deepest voice you've ever heard. It sounds like thunder rolling over hills, or like a wheel on gravel, just completely deep, and like you can feel it in your chest as he speaks. He says, "Hello, travelers."
Yeah, I think I would like yeah, I mean, I probably would need to point him out to Javi, but I'm gonna like, brace against Javi and hello. We're headed for what was the name of the place we were looking for?
I did not tell you because it doesn't actually exist in the books or on the map, so I'm calling
Oh,
it
okay.
Stedding Nouveau.
Well, in that case, I'm thinking I probably would have just said we're looking for the creators of something ancient and hmm, wonderful? No, old. Just ancient. The creators of something ancient and hard to comprehend.
Can I get your names?
Of course, I'm Timothy, and this is my friend Javi. I've got some others with me here as well. Arashi's in the back of the cart, and Elbreth is a new traveler with us, but he's also along for the ride. We are a bit of a party now.
Timothy, Javi, Arashi, and Elbreth, your names sing in my ears. Welcome to Stedding Nouveau. My name is Jizbeth, son of Eldraine, son of Haman.
Okay, yeah, if he gestured us in a direction, then I would just accept his welcome and be ready to move into. Is this like a town that we would be putting the cart into the middle of,
There
or?
doesn't appear to really be a path. He kind of leads through the forest. You can see like kind of a small trail, but you're not going to fit the wagon through it.
Gotcha, so we need to dismount now. I'm going to jump off and grab my normal things. I don't want to. Probably shouldn't bring like weapons if I'm if I'm just hoping to chat with these people. I won't like armed to the teeth, but I'm gonna bring like my sword and shield that I've normally always got with me. I'll like wake up Arashi, and that might be a moment where she mentions she doesn't feel like she's connected to magic anymore.
Yeah, like this definitely makes her uncomfortable. She might volunteer to watch the cart and horses, but maybe, a bit further
Oh, true,
away,
yeah.
out
Yeah.
of the range of the effect.
Um, I want to ask Elbreth if he wants to join us, or if he wants to stay with the carts with Arashi and like
Mm.
stay there, or
Yes, I think I'll stay with the carts if that's okay. And
that's
just
fair.
make sure your business is done as soon as you can, and then we can get back to the road.
All right, we'll try. And I'm gonna look to Javi to follow the is the you said his name was
Uh,
Gisbeth?
yeah,
Yeah, I want to start following that guy and like wave to Javi to come down this forest path. What an adventure we're on now.
it is a relatively dense forest, so the path isn't too short, but eventually you can come to some sort of a clearing, and there are some like some housings and stuff. It's not like traditional um, masonry and things that you've seen in your own villages, but the Ogier are known for being builders, so it's like usually extremely fine stonework. Uh, and so their small village, like, is definitely beautiful to see.
I'm gonna like small talk with him as we're walking and make mention of the fact that he's not the first 9 foot tall hairy creature we've seen, and most of them don't speak to us and don't want anything to do with us. So I'm surprised by their like quaint and beautiful village and the way they've greeted us so nicely. Most of the wood creatures have not enjoyed our presence so far.
You've met other Ogier.
I don't think so. They weren't like you. If they were Ogier, then you're a lot nicer than they were. And he doesn't look like a Trolloc, right?
No, like from a distance, you might have assumed that, but like they have a lot more bestial stature, with like kind of animal legs that have like the knee going the wrong way or whatever.
I say
But
I
but Ogiers
googled
are
an
much more
Ogier.
humanoid in appearance.
I googled an Ogier, and if what would come up from like various TV shows and
Yeah.
stuff is correct, then I don't think I would mistake him for a Trolloc. But he is 9 feet tall, like a Trolloc would
Yes.
be. So I think it probably hits my basic psyche the same way. And I'm surprised that other wood giants are nice. That I'm just sort of observing the livery around here and maybe even trying to osmosis a bit of culture while walking through the square and see how they communicate and how they trade. Javi, are you around?
I mean, I am. I mean, I'm a little bit more suspicious. Um, because the last time we, thought something was just an ordinary thing, we went into a nightmare, came out the other end without a shirt. That one experience we had has me just on edge. So
Could I tell that by looking at you? Is it like you're walking behind and shifty eyed? I would comment on it as all, but not if you're hiding it.
no, I'm not showing it because if you show this, they might eat you. So
Gotcha. Okay. Well, in that case, that means I'm thinking Javi keeping a sharp eye out, and I'm like the last places we went through the woods had like people tied up and they and a stew pot going, and this place just I feel like gives me a general vibe of
Yeah, it's a
not
lot more
being children in the
idyllic.
woods.
You know, kind of. I mean, if you like imagine Hobbit Town from Lord of the Rings, there's plants everywhere. They're very like plant loving people, so like everything is well kept and beautiful. There's flowers. Eventually, kind of you're attracting attention as you're walking through, and you get more people just approaching and waving to you. And eventually, your guide takes you to the home of someone, and he gives a few knocks, and eventually the door is opened by another Ogier. And he says, "These people have some questions to ask of us." And this person introduces. I should have like generated some names ahead of time, but I don't. So he introduces himself as uh, on the council of the Ogier here, and again he gives his name and like his like ancestry as you're kind of just sitting there, and he asks
Cool.
personally for each of your names, and you give them, and again he says your name sing in my ears. And then finally, after all of that hubbub, they ask, how can we help you?
I'm going to basically just give like the story that brought us here. That that I'm gonna tell him about. Gosh, where do I want to start with that? Probably just the webway. I think it would just be important that I mention that, I was stolen from, and the person ran through a spectral portal, and when I followed them, it took us to a wild place of interconnected, bridges and tunnels, and when we came out the other side, I went seeking for who could, or how could it could exist, and they told me to seek out you. Do you know anything about these spectral portals and connected bridgeways?
You mean to say you traveled in the ways?
It sounds like it. I don't know what I saw, to be honest. There was something horrible in there, though, and the people that were in there too seemed horrible. What is the way?
Long, long ago, in another age, our people built these for travel across the continent, but they were corrupted, and there a great evil lurks there. It is not wise to go in the ways. It is dangerous.
I see. When we went in there, there were already people in there that we had followed someone who already seemed familiar with traversing it in a way or another. Do you know who could be using it now, or is it more of a distant thing?
I, anyone who
Distant
goes
to your
inside
history, I
them,
mean.
anyone who goes inside them risks madness. It would take a madman to want to go in there.
Oh. Oh, I'm gonna like my character's gonna take a moment to I'm gonna look at the floor and start thinking hard on that. I need a moment to think about what this means. Oh, did I ever get I don't remember, did we ever get my cloak back from this guy?
Yes.
I wanted to hold the cloak out and say, like, part of the whole reason that we had ended up in there, ended up chased through it, is because the man who we were chasing desperately wanted this, and like pushed my cloak toward him. Do you know why this is important? Why it would be important to someone using the ways?
It's finely made, but this is not made by any Ogier hand, so I'm not sure I can help you with that.
I wasn't sure if it had some sort of latent quality your kind could see that mine cannot. I, I understand, and
This
I
is a
put it
talent I
back
do not
where I
possess, but
got it
others
from.
may.
I'll keep that in mind. Um, Gosh, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to figure out here. Hmm.
So, what kind
Do
of other
you know?
people did you see?
The thing is I don't know much. My character doesn't know much about them, and I don't either, in the sense that he was always just kind of, no, wait. He was that beggar, but he associated with other people. I just sort of attributed those to being paid thugs, but like, what if they were someone he was associated with? I don't know who was using the ways. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out, but I realize that knowing the maker of an ancient tunnel doesn't know who's making it now. The only thing I could wonder now is, do you know where it might connect to that someone bad would want to use it for? Does it grant access to something that you cannot gain in some other way?
They were created all over the continent, and they connect um, pretty much everywhere. I mean, the only place they don't connect is deep in the blight, but even some of the portals near the blight have been taken over and reside within the blight now.
Do you know anything about the great evil that sleeps in the ways now?
It is a thing of hate, the thing of fear. We don't know what caused it, but it hunts in there.
Among my group, there is one who can use magic, and when they used magic in the way, we became aware of that creature that exists within it. Do you, why was it unaware of us until we had done magic, and does it hate magic specifically?
As far as we know, it hunts always. But if you connect yourself to the source of magic, then it knows exactly where you are, and it doesn't have to hunt anymore.
I
So
see, so it had merely
even
just
without
found us.
magic, going in there, it is possible it will find you, and perhaps even likely.
Hmm. Well, this is all very interesting info. I'm just not sure where it leaves me going from here. I feel like the lead is cold on who could have been using it and where they'd be now. Is there a map of this place? I know you said that it would be crazy to go in there, but I'm just trying to figure out what my role in all this is. That man seemed to seek me out, tried to get specifically from me, and we nearly fought to the death over it. I'm dying to know what my role in all of this is.
There is no map, but there are guide stones inside the place on the platforms. Although reports say that they are naturally eroding, even though they should not.
Interesting. I'm gonna go back into thought again. Javi, do you have any questions for the man?
Actually, I don't. You're asking all the questions that I would have asked.
Would you like some tea?
Sure, it's been a strange week.
Drink that tea.
Or I guess, what did you say? Sorry.
Well, some yes, kind
I said, hey dog, don't drink that tea.
of.
Oh,
Some tea
I
is brought
mean,
out.
they've been pretty nice so far. I'm not super suspicious of these nice people. So
That's the couple
far,
across the bar, Ben. Mhm.
I would definitely partake in tea. They've been nothing but nice to us so far, and their quaint little village sounds great.
No
Maybe we
tea
could
for
just.
me.
Oh yeah, I imagine Javi is probably suspicious, huh? Still.
If you
Go
have
on,
some,
drink this then.
it's normal. It's pleasant tea. Probably maybe even better than what you're used to.
Cool, fantastic. I think, gosh, from meta perspective, I'm not sure where to go from here. That I guess we could just follow that merchant back. That we got our information about the way. We know it is. Oh yeah, you know what? Let me make this in game actually. I want to thank the gentleman we spoke to, and like ask if I can take this tea and have a moment to speak with Javi, and and no, okay, we left the other guys back at the caravan, so just with Javi, and I want to like chat with Javi about it. I'm gonna tell him like, so we know a bit about the way. We know that it exists as like a network all. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's something I'm gonna go back in and ask. I thought of something, but um, if we know that there is a network all over and it's corrupted, but people are still managing to use it, they just have to like hide in there because they're being hunted, then we at least understand that network. I think the last information I need to get from him is like where are the access points. We found one by accident. Do they know where the access points are to these places from the other side? Because like if there's no map of it, but there is a guide stone to it, is there any way to know where these doors lead from the other side? How do I find the ways into the way? But I think that might leave us looking for a lead, and I suppose if we have no lead currently, we do have a job, so we can like get some money escorting this merchant guy and see if we can find out anything in the town he wants to head to. How are you feeling about that?
I feel that as long as we stick together and don't fall for any of random tricks or random acts of kindness, we should be fine.
Like slap him on the shoulder while still holding my cup of tea and be like, "You'll have to be my my voice of reason on that, my friend. I just can't turn down these hospitalities. I feel like I'm back at home in the Midlands where I visit someone's house and they've made me a guest in their home. It's much better to dying on the cold concrete in an ancient webway, that's for sure. I'm feeling pretty good about this place so far." Which means keep a sharp eye for me.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Well, on that note, before we head out of here, I do want to ask the man about where the entrances might be, if he knows how to find entrances. Obviously, if there's no map on the inside, there's no map for the outside, but is there a way to just know? And shoot, I think that was the last thing I had. I don't know if there was another question besides that.
Yes, we probably do have within our archives and records a note of most of the entrances to the ways that there are. Um, you know,
But it's not a pattern or a feeling. I wouldn't want to take a map or maybe I could
largely they were
transcribe it, but
built around ancient cities in another age, which some of those cities don't exist anymore. Um, so you know, in the current landscape, they might be in the middle of nowhere, but
that is very interesting information. I will have to start looking for old maps in places, but I won't make that your responsibility, sir. You've told me not to even go in there.
yeah,
So,
I must I must insist you do not go in there. It is incredibly dangerous.
oh, the corruption. do you know, you've said it's become corrupted, but is there any way to uncorrupt it? Is there a force that's capable of such a thing?
I mean, it's been corrupted for at least 1,000 years. So
Yeah,
if it could be
for
combated,
millennia.
I mean, it's taken its toll on even some of the strongest Aes Sedai who have gone in there, and it killed them or made them mad and drove them to end
Right.
themselves.
I forgot about the makes them go crazy part. I remembered the hunting monster, forgot about the makes them go crazy part. Okay. Well, can't use the webway. Still important. I think we've learned what we need to here. Is there any way I can repay you for the knowledge you've granted us?
Do you have any goods for trade or
Let
any
me check,
books
but I don't think
from
so.
libraries on you? We do trade in books and information.
Oh,
You
dang.
like a soul?
What did you ask?
Would you like a soul?
A soul?
Yes.
I'm not sure myself. Caleb is following.
Do
Oh,
you
really? I
have
was
one of
just testing
those?
him to see if he would say yes or no.
Okay.
Yeah, I was simply test.
Wanna like
Yeah,
try to
they're
peek in
they're a
his
little
bag?
flabbergasted. They're not sure what you're asking.
Okay. I would. All right. It was a test. I just wanted to see if they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't know you were offering."
Before your
I think
characters
my
leave,
friend is unfamiliar with non-human creatures.
yeah, before your characters leave, because like I just want to know for me and make sure there's no confusion. Like, kind of on the walk over here, you compared them in your heads to Trollocs, but like during the storytelling, did you mention Trollocs at all, or did you mostly tell how you came through the portal? Hello.
Actually, where your internet dropped out and what I was saying. So, I said that for mentioning Trollocs, I definitely didn't mention them by name because Timothy wouldn't know what they were called. But if the Ogier would recognize, like my description of a creature that was tall like you, but much hairier and not very nice, if that would be like enough of a description for him to put together that I meant a Trolloc, then I did mention them, but not by name.
Okay. Um, I'll just do a roll, see if they get it or they don't.
Oh, right, success. I always forget the meaning of these symbols. Need to make sure I study on that better.
Yeah, and they're different in the Star Wars system. They're different symbols, so I'm still getting used to it, kind of. So yeah, eventually, one of them do put together and says, "So you've seen Trollocs, like giant, monstrous hybrid creatures."
That sounds about right. Every time I see them, it's in the dark, so I can't say for sure that the name of the creature is correct, but I think that sounds about right.
And were these things also in the ways?
They were, right? Yeah, we were fighting those on the platform. Yeah, they were in the ways, and it seemed as though a man had control of them, or was at least on their side. I'm not sure. They didn't seem like the kind of beasts to be reasoned with, but they weren't attacking him.
I mean, that is certainly troubling news. Trollocs are said to be, very animalistic creatures. They'll hardly even cross running water unless they're driven to by a fade. But a man having some control of them, that man could only be a dark friend, and that I assume that must mean while he's crazy enough to try to go in the ways himself. But if Trollocs are in the ways, I mean, surely I assume the darkness in the ways can attack and feed off of Trollocs just as well as any man. So that man must be powerful enough to have the Trollocs afraid of him to follow his orders.
That's troubling news. Do you know what we do now? Where do I learn more about this? I feel like I can't stand idly by. If there's something I can do, I want to, but this problem feels much greater than me. I'm not sure where we go.
I mean, if Trollocs can use the waves in somehow without being hunted, or even with being hunted in great numbers, they could, since there are entrances to the waves in the Blight, the Trollocs could appear anywhere across the continent. I mean,
Could spell the end of our world as we know it.
that is absolutely true. We will have a meeting at the next council and see what we can determine, see what we decide to do about this. We built the ways. We can lock them permanently, the entrances, but and then it's very permanent. We'd have to debate about it for months.
Yes, I understand that if even possessing a great evil for a millennia they've stayed open, then it must be, a great decision to close them. I understand the need to deliberate. Um, I imagine being a mortal human creature, I don't know how long you guys live, but my input, my wisdom is not as necessary as yours here. So it seems like we should be moving on, but I'm not sure where we should even begin looking for the dark fiend you called it, the threat that might live in that way. Where would I begin looking for them? How could I find answers for them?
I'm afraid we spend most of our time within our homes. We only leave to do some building that we're contracted for and maintaining our public works. So, I mean, dark friends they're everywhere. But if I were you, I'd stay away from dark people, evil people like that.
We've already killed a number of Trollocs, at no short cost to ourselves and our bodies, but they are defeatable, and must stand in the face of this evil. I can't. If they're using the ways, then they're trying to march. They're setting forth on the world, whether or not we stand idly by for it, and I must find these people and put a stop to their advances. But perhaps you have given us a name, a lead, people to look for, and a bit of insight to what their plans are. And for that, I thank you and go to extend a hand to him and see that his hand is
Yeah,
massive, and
his
then
hand
put
definitely
my
like
hand
encloses
back.
your entire hand.
Yeah, and thank him for the hospitality and the information, and wish him luck in the deliberation on what they're going to do about the way. But I think that we should probably get back to our merchant and maybe see if we can find something in Qatar. Now we've got a lead, we've got somewhere we need to go. Perhaps we can get more information in Qatar. I'm saying that to Javi.
The Ogier also says, if you want to share this information, I don't have like a method that I could tell you that would convince anyone. of your story, but it is said that the Aes Sedai do have the most powerful spy networks across the continent, so they might be able to get news to travel fast enough
The
if you can
Aes
earn the trust of an Aes Sedai or one of their people. And they have the ears
Okay.
of all the rulers across the nations.
Okay, so I might be able to find a representative
But
of Aes
you
Sedai in
actually you mentioned
Qatar.
you have someone who can use magic among you. She must be
Yes.
an Aes Sedai, of course.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you were describing like an Assassin's Creed organization. I got you. Uh, Duly noted. Thank you. We definitely do have someone who could help us in that regard. Then this has been revelating information, and now I feel more than ever to energized to find the source of this trouble. My home is in danger. Everyone's home is in danger. Not sure I could just go back to my bed and pretend this isn't happening. I've
Well,
seen monsters that I thought only exist in stories.
I wish you safe travels.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave him on that note. Javi, are you ready to head back to the caravan, or do you want to like maybe see if there's stuff in town? I don't know that we need anything. We did like a week of travel, but I don't know if this is the kind of game that really cares if I've got traveling supplies like that.
No, I think it would. Yeah, we could go back to the caravan. Yeah.
You
Okay.
reconnect and kind of wishy-washy if Arashi was with you or stayed outside, but you guys all are caught up now with each other.
I was gonna say the merchant's not sure. He didn't keep an eye on her, so she could have been around. But uh,
But he
with that,
seems eager to see you and get moving again.
yeah, I definitely want to assure him that we're ready to take care of like the obligation that he paid us ahead for. To he wanted to go to Qatar, right? I'm remembering that correctly.
I believe that is what I said. Yes, let's
Okay, I
assume
just
so.
realized I said we were headed there a
No,
lot, and I didn't remember
that's
if that's where he.
probably right.
Okay. Um, to that end, I'll tell him that, but I wanted to mention to Arashi too about the Aes Sedai thing, but I don't think that like any of us as players are privy to what that actually means. So I don't like what would she know because of that affiliation?
So the Aes Sedai is it's kind of like a magical college where people go to study magic and learn magic, but she is not actually from there. She learned magic on her
Oh,
own with her people.
right, yes, okay,
So
but
you
it
guys
does
might
still need.
assume she's one, but she's not.
Yeah, but at least it might still give us like a connection to that if we meet people who are about that, then at least having someone connected to source might give us more than like, hello, I'm a commoner from the Midlands. Tell us about ancient evils. But um, on that note, I think like I'd give a recap to Arashi if she wasn't present to hear that. I know that Michael was though. So we give just like a bit of a recap of our conversation with that guy. And I think if it is like a sensible time to leave and still have time to travel, then I want to like, put some good effort forward for the merchant and we get back on the road instead of camping in this town or whatever.
Yeah, it's getting late, but there's still enough daylight to get some more travel, and he seems definitely eager to keep moving as much as
Yeah, and
possible.
Javi doesn't seem like he'd want to sleep in this town of strangers either. He's been very suspicious the whole time, so I'm not trying. Let's get a room at the
Absolutely
inn.
not. I'd rather, sleep in the bush outside of town.
I'll like nudge him and be like, "Are you sure the beds here have got to be massive?"
So eventually, the rest of the day's travel goes fine. You go back to the main road pretty much, and you're traveling along it. I have to reopen all my notes. And like you do share like your meals with this Elbreth, and he kind of tells some tales along the fireplace that evening, or not the fireplace, the fire pit. Um, and he tells stories of let's see here, kind of implying like a noble life in many different places. Kind of there's simple descriptions of feasts and festivals, and then there's like random elaborate accounts of stories of the 16th birthday celebration of Beslan Quintara of House Mistobar, heir to the throne of Altara, and the royal coronation of Queen Aleandra of Gildon. And his stories, like, you know, some of them are generic, but others are so rich with detail that you might think he's kind of a glee man in disguise, kind of a storyteller who travels around telling stories, or that he was possibly actually present at these events.
Well, I think my character's pretty captivated by that, I would say. I'm a, Midlander. I think that when we went to Dagon, that had been like easily 10 times the furthest distance I've ever been from the village that I swore to protect. So, like, just looking around at the scenery and listening to him tell the stories, like my character has a doubt that he'd ever return home, but I'm constantly shifting between this wanderlust of seeing the greater world for the first time and also being afraid that I'll lose everything I swore to protect. So it's this weird bittersweet feeling by the campfire where I'm enjoying what we're doing, but also like haunted by what it means for the state of things. And I think I might want to ask Elbreth just a bit like about like the nature in terms of like have you seen deserts? Have you seen mountains? I've only ever been around the like small prairies of the Midlands. I can't even imagine the greater world looking at these mountains in the distance and whatnot. Having seen the ocean for the first time, I can't help but imagine the scale of the world.
Yeah, I mean, he's been everywhere. He even mentions seeing Dragon Mount, the freakish, unnaturally tall mountain near Tar Valon that was said to be created by magic.
Is your character well traveled, Javi? How do you feel about being real far from home? Or is
I
your
mean,
character far from home?
relatively traveled, but I don't think like far traveled. Probably similar to you, like mostly the plains, maybe some forests. And being far from home is, I feel like it's like a coming of age type of thing. It's like once you become a true hunter, that's when you go out and
Yeah, you're
explore
like
and
feeling
see
like a
what you
real
can
man.
hunt to bring home or something like that.
Yeah, I think in that case, after listening to his stories and asking about the world and everything and soaking it in, I would, oh right, my injuries are already taken care of, so I'm feeling better in that regard too. I think I'd probably just get ready for, if we don't have tents, then lay down under the stars and get ready for sleep. Do we
Uh,
need to watch? I should ask Elbreth. Does this seem like a place that's safe to camp where we can all sleep, or should somebody stay up and watch us? Or protecting you as your escort. I suppose I should stay up, maybe keep watch.
you never know what's out on these roads.
Well, in that case, if there's gameplay mechanics for it, then like we can set up watches. I would volunteer for a first one, but if this is just the kind of thing where we would go to next morning, then I'm ready to go to sleep.
Sometimes I will have you guys roll for it, and sometimes I might not. But in this case, I think you can all get a night's sleep. It's uncomfortable. You're just pretty much sleeping on the ground or in the hard back of the wagon. Uh, but other than that, the day proceeds. So those of you that are not fully healed can remove an additional wound, and your strains are all erased as well. So,
Arashi, you are good on wounds. I will go down to 1 wound.
so I think Javi can go down 1 wound and then erase your current strain as well.
Oh, made a question real quick. Sorry. Do these leaves on the map mean anything? Or would I not know about that?
I mean, your characters don't have like this map. This is more for reference.
Cool. Okay.
I mean, I guess I'll like tell you out of character, but those I think might actually be the portals.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, yeah, I know how to separate player knowledge and character knowledge, so I won't, use that, but good to know. Okay.
They're either the portals or they are the homes of Ogier. I'm not entirely certain, or it could be both.
Yeah, we'll find out later. Cool. They're ancient of some kind, an ancient site of some sort.
The next day of travel is similarly uneventful. One of the last things we did last session was I asked for somebody to roll a check, just paying attention to what your friend Elsbeth, is that his name?
Elbreth,
Elbreth,
I think.
Elbreth.
Yeah.
Um, so I suppose that'd be either perception.
I've just upgraded my perception. Or no, wait, no. I did that a little while ago. But yeah, I've got 2 yellows for perception.
Sure. You can roll for it. I guess versus 2 purple dice.
Oh, and that also makes sense because Javi's paying attention to the road. I'm shotgun.
Success with some threat.
Cool. Okay.
Good way to spend the threat. Um, the next roll you make will add a black setback dice to it. So we will try to remember that.
I'll make a note of it
So
and keep my
you're kind of
character sheet on that
distracted
page.
because you notice this and kind of you keep noticing it throughout the day. Elbreth seems to like be looking backwards a lot more than he should. Like he's almost expecting something to happen.
And I noticed that.
He's a lot more antsy than maybe he's seemed.
But my
Like
character can tell.
yeah.
Okay, then I might like just ask out to him because he's ahead of us if he's looking back, and I noticed that maybe. Um, to that end, I'm gonna like call out and Elbreth, you seem nervous. Are is something going on?
Oh, just dangerous roads ahead.
Well, we're unfamiliar with the trail. Should I be looking out for anything specific?
Yeah, always be on the lookout. Anyone approaching us could have ill intent.
So, but not the sky. We're looking out on the road. Not like birds that will be coming after us. I'm just curious. You seem to be looking for a threat, and I could also be looking for a certain threat.
Well, I mean, you should be. That's what I'm paying you for. Just
All right.
look out for anyone on the road, and
All right, I'm gonna like give a side eye to my party in the in the our cart to note that. And I guess we'll just keep on. I'm not gonna keep pressing.
But as far as you can tell, you don't really run across anyone else on the road that day. You don't see any like suspicious um, spots along the road.
How far out are we from Qatar?
Uh, it is probably several weeks' journeys, and this is day two.
Oh, gotcha. So like it's not even on the horizon. We're a good ways away from it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm good to just keep on.
Um, it as you're getting into the evening and you're kind of thinking about um, finding a spot to pull off the road and rest for the evening, you do come across a small farming village. Um, and you can kind of see Elbreth kind of look towards it and think if whether or not you should rest around here for the night or move on. And he kind of, after debating with himself for a while, he kind of looks to you and asks all of you what you think.
Well, you are a merchant. Did you want to stop in the town and do your thing?
Mm, I don't have anything to offer these people right now. But if you'd rather sleep in an inn, those of you that aren't on watch, or, there might be an opportunity for you, and
I
maybe
feel
a
I've
better meal than the rations we have packed.
I've a soldier's training, so sleeping on the ground doesn't really bother me too much. I do like covering ground in the name of getting you to your location and accomplishing our job, but I'm also not against a warm meal and a nice bed. Javi, how do you feel?
I mean, we just slept in bushes a few days ago. Maybe a nice inn would be great.
Yeah, all right. If it's not out of the way, is it like a little ways
It's
travel?
mostly along the road.
Okay, well, if he's amicable to it, then yeah, we might stop by that farm town and get some rest in an inn. Michael, I know that you've got your mic muted or anything, but do you have the room to input or any thoughts there? All right, yeah, we can just go to the town then.
There is a tavern here, and there seems to be kind of definitely a cacophony of voices and things going on the inside. And Elbreth kind of pulls his cart around the back of the village on the opposite side of the main road. And
Okay.
he himself probably locks up his cart and goes into the tavern, but like he's kind of sits himself out by a window where he can see his wagon.
I mean, my character is good-natured. I don't see anything suspicious about that. Man wants to make sure his goods aren't robbed while we're in town. So, I wouldn't question that too much. I think my character sees the good in people. He's given us no reason not to trust him. Um, so in the tavern, if it seems like a nice affair, I might order a decent meal and enjoy myself. But if it's kind of quaint, you said a small like a farming village, so if it's, just the town place where people eat and sleep, then I'll probably just have a modest meal and get a room and whatnot.
Yeah, I have a generic tavern scene, so there's nothing particular about this one, but so you might see it again, but you can kind of look at this for a while. Just have a change of scenery.
I'm currently in the dark.
Oh, you guys do not have tokens on this. That is fine. I can fix that.
Cool. Okay.
And you can't help but hear overhear some of the locals' conversation. So I will probably read this off, and then that might be where we stop for the evening.
Fun. Okay.
So here we go. Fell beasts they were, the balding farmer exclaims to the crowd, his rheumy eyes wide as saucers and red from an evening's hard drinking. A dozen of 'em, all as big as my prize bull, with slavering fangs and breath as hot as the Dark One's own forge. There I was, staring into the face of the leader as he glared at me with his foul yellow eyes, till he took one look at my crossbow and turned tail and ran. My shot caught him right in the rump, but it was just a sting to such a huge monster. He just kept running, and by the time I could reload and fire again, the others had all vanished into mist. The other patrons of the cozy village tavern looked like local craftsmen and peasants from the outlying farms, laugh and raise their mugs to the old timer. A great story, Tay, one young man calls out from a table near the entrance. Tell us about the one about the giant cave monster next. Mock me if you will, lad, but I seen that one too, Tay protests. 'Twas taller than your rooftop, if it were a foot. The crowd roars with laughter again. Hey, deuce it, maybe the giant is killing our sheep, another wag calls out. Suddenly, a stout man in blacksmith's apron rises from his seat and pounds the table with his mug. The laughter quickly settles as the crowd turns their attention towards this man. All right, you lot. Tay's visions may have more to do with blackberry brandy than giants, but we've all been losing livestock to these wolves. It's time to put a stop to this, and quickly. Any suggestions?
Who knows how far and wide these threats go? Um, I if this is an opportunity, if you're ending the session right there, we can stop right there. But if we have an opportunity to interject, I might stand up and give like a, we should hunt them. You seem to not believe they're real. I've killed large beasts myself, and Javi too, and gesture back to him. They're real, and if you need proof, then I say we find them.
Uh, yeah, the whole time he's talking, I'm like, doing the whole signal as, no, 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 no. You
Javi,
got
our
it really
world is in
brave lately.
danger. The people must know.
Sit down. Please sit down.
I'm like about to sit down, but I'm looking at the eyes of the people, engaging their response to my outburst.
You definitely have some hopeful eyes and eyebrows looking your way. Um, but they seem a little bit put off by kind of your friends' protestations. But like you look at them, they're kind of, farmers and blacksmiths. They're not. I mean, they're not exactly fighters. So like they can probably hunt, but hunting wolves is a different story.
Well, with some hopeful eyes, I'm gonna look at the man who claims to have shot him with a crossbow and say, like, 9 feet tall, hairy beast, horns, big, describe a Trolloc to him. That the beast? Is that the one you saw?
Don't make fun of me. No, it was a something else.
Oh, I'm gonna look a little surprised and like taken aback. And uh yes, surely it was all jest. And sit back at the table with like a bit of a distant look in my eyes, and I'm gonna just take a bite of food and think real hard on what just happened there.
Yeah, I mean that's about where we can stop and you can kind of think on what, if you want to investigate further and with conversations or with actions next time, or if you want to
Oh,
keep
I
traveling.
definitely do. I definitely do want to find out more about what's going on here, but now I need to talk to that guy. Oh, wait, hang on. He said don't make fun of me, and then what did he say about the creatures?
Uh, your description didn't seem to exactly fit.
Then when I look surprised and maybe sit back down, I want to like just one more like look up at him and say like, then what did they look like? He described them, right? He said they were gigantic and
Let me see. Uh, a giant cave monster taller than your rooftop.
oh, okay. I thought he mentioned beasts before that.
Uh, the the giant wolves, or just wolves.
Oh, okay. He said wolves and then the giant cave monster. Okay. Well, geez. Okay. I probably, if I heard that description right, I probably wouldn't have called him out as Trollocs. But I still want to keep a big part of that speech. The first part where I say like, then let's find it. Then if it's real, then let's find it, and just refer to the guy who turned tail and run. That like, or who made it run. That like maybe he'll join us or show us where it was. That we're like armed to the teeth and have maybe still covered in the blood stains of Trollocs we've killed. And I want to just sort of like heroically imply that if there is a monster, then we'll find it. Tell us where it is.
Yeah, I think that will be a conversation for next time.
Yeah, cool. I just want to. Do you want me to make note of that, or will you?
Yeah, I'll do the recap and stuff like that.
Okay, cool, cool. Sounds good. We're doing Traveler next week.